Hey, this is Mark. It's a message for subscribers to my newsletter, Crypto is Easy. If you're not subscribed, check the link in the description below. Head on over. If you like what you see, please go ahead, subscribe. It's free. And if you want to bump up to a paid subscription, that's your choice. But anybody can sign up for free. Please feel free to do so. One of the things that I've gotten a few questions, uh, really since Bitcoin went up to the all-time high, and it's some variation of, well, is this bull market going to be different because you have institutions and businesses and corporations buying and all this stuff? Well, we'll see, we'll see. But there's the thing that I look for more is more about how the Bitcoins are moving, because regardless of whether it's institutions or people or whatever, you'll see the patterns of the way Bitcoin moves around the just the way Bitcoin moves. You can see the actual on-chain data about how Bitcoins move, and people have done a great job of breaking this down into all sorts of different ways to kind of visualize and conceptualize and anticipate movements and shifts in momentum in the market. And I don't think that's going to change whether it's coming from institutions or retail or whatever. I don't see any reason why it should. Institutions are run by people, and people are going to have the same reactions whether they're retail or not. If anything, they might even be more conservative and place more emphasis on things like having a stop or plan for selling, whether that's taking profits on the way up, or whether that's just saying to whoever manages their money, hey, we want to make sure that we limit our exposure. So they're either going to, they limit the downside risks. So they're either going to hedge with something, or maybe they'll have some sort of asset allocation or portfolio allocation strategy to deal with that, which would end up, as a result, doing things like, if Bitcoin's price dropped too much, they'll sell. And then the price will continue going down. Or if Bitcoin's price goes up too much, they'll sell. And that'll keep the price from going higher. And all sorts of other things that you might be doing something like that right now. So I don't think, my gut tells me this is not going to be different in that regard, in terms of the movements up, down, sideways, whatever. I suspect it's not going to be different, but I think we'll just have to see. The other thing that's really interesting and probably more significant is all the different ways money can move in and out of the markets. And when I talk about the market getting bigger, I kind of misspeak a little bit, and this was pointed out to me. The market isn't bigger for Bitcoin. I mean, the overall crypto market is actually smaller than it was in 2017, towards the end of 2017. So if you got those big moves in 2017, why would we think that it would be different, right? I was operating under the idea that you just need more money to move the markets because it's bigger, just like any other asset. When it gets bigger, you need more money, and that means more people either buying at the same time or selling at the same time. And the volume of that money needs to be more. Somebody pointed out it's the same as 2017, which is true. I think the point that I'm trying to make is, you don't need to buy Bitcoin and sell Bitcoin to get the results that you want from being in the market. There are derivatives, there are all sorts of financial products, there are investment funds now, and all these other OTC, peer-to-peer. There are so many other, that means the infrastructure, the mechanism for getting money in and out and around has developed. I mean, it's night and day to where it was in 2017. It's night and day. So because you have all these new ways to hedge and new ways to get exposure, new ways to be involved in the market that don't involve directly buying and selling Bitcoin, it's all that activity. I think that changes the dynamics in a way where, we'll see. But I do think it's real. I think it's legitimate to expect that maybe we're not going to have these massive moves up and these massive crashes. If you look back in September, there was, I mean, just like now, things have been just exploding, and I'm saying, hey guys, this is not the right time. It hasn't been the right time since Bitcoin was 16,000. But back in September, it was the same kind of thing. We went up to about 12,000, and I said, look, where they're going to go up to about 14,000, really 13,700, but 14,000, or we're going to crash from here, and we ended up crashing from here just because the sentiment in the market, the movements of Bitcoin around the network, just align with every time beforehand that you saw these big drops. And it took probably took about 2 weeks before we saw, before we actually saw that crash, but it was only 22%. Whereas in the past, these crashes would be 30, 40%. So that kind of makes me think, well, maybe that's what we expect. And even on the way up, if you look in the past, until we really got to that big, until we really got rolling along that bull market, some of these, the swings, like double, like when Bitcoin's price would double, that was kind of an exceptional event up until really you get swinging in around mid-2017. Although, I mean, the moves were significant, 50%, 60%, 70% in a month or two. But, I mean, where we topped out, we were double where we bottomed in September. So that's a little more. We'll see. My point is, we'll see. If you are subscribed, if you're a paid subscriber, you have the plan. The plan imputes all this. So if we are if things have changed, then the lines that represent the relationships between different things that are going on, those lines will shift too. And so the opportunities to buy are still going to be awesome, amazing opportunities. You don't want to miss them. The percentages, the prices, the swings, those may be a little different than in the past, or maybe not. We'll just have to see how it goes. But the same plan that has given us, if you were subscribed, I don't know how long you've been subscribed, but if you were subscribed, the same plan that has given us an opportunity to buy these amazing crashes, the true dips, not the 10% drops, but the true dips, to make the most of those, and then lay off the gas a little bit when things got too extreme, so that we're always putting money in when the market's in our favor, so that we are always seeing the value of our portfolio rise. And well, I shouldn't say that, but we are always adding money at a point where the price will not go down much more for much longer. It may not go down at all. And then all we have to look forward to are upsides. So right now, there's no, and I mean, I don't, so the bottom line is right now, I don't see any reason to question anything yet. If you think, okay, well, why does Mark keep saying that we need to hold off when Bitcoin keeps poking its head up to 19,000? Put on a trading chart if you're inclined. Put on a trading chart and look at what it's done over the past 2 weeks. Because since we got to that all-time high, since we kissed that all-time high, Bitcoin has tried 4 times to go back up there. And each time it tries to go up, it ends a little bit shorter, a little bit shorter, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, including right now. Now, I don't know what it's going to be when you watch this video, but now is not, but even if it does go back to all-time highs, we want to get in when the momentum is in our favor. And the momentum is just not in our favor. And I'm sorry to spoil things if you're not, if that's not what you want to hear. But the momentum will be in our favor, and it will happen sooner than later. And when it happens, you don't want to miss it. Because when those opportunities come, they're amazing. And so look, right now you can't lose. If you're buying Bitcoin, don't worry about the price going down, because over the long run, it's not going to make a difference. You trust me, in a year, 2 years, where we're going, you're not going to look back at this time and be like, oh, I can't believe I bought Bitcoin at 19,200 instead of waiting for it to go back down, because we still have so much upside to look forward to. If you're antsy, buy. If you're not antsy, if you are willing to wait, you're going to get in when it's a better time. Trust me on that. You're going to get a better opportunity. But so what? Your state of mind, your peace of mind, your ability to stay in this market and stay confident and fun and enthusiastic about what's going on, that's more important than trying to, that's probably the most important than anything. So if you get the urge to buy, buy. Make sure you keep a little bit on the side, or a lot, as much as you can, keep it on the side, because there will be a time where we're going to get that opportunity. And when it comes, you don't want to miss it. The only mistake you can make right now is selling. That's the only mistake you can make. And I know you're thinking in your heads, oh, Bitcoin's going back up to all-time high. Mark says, this is not a great time to buy. Okay, well, I'm going to sell because it's going to crash. Don't do that. What you want to do is you want to figure out, okay, how do I have more accessible capital, money, cheap credit, something, so that when Mark says we have the opportunity, when I say the opportunity is here, that you can make the most of it. Selling now to buy lower is like ridiculous. It's just don't even. Unless you're a competent trader, unless you really know what you're doing, or maybe you have some sort of inside information about what's going on, there's no reason to do that. Why would you risk everything that we have in front of us to catch, maybe a 30% drop, if you can catch it, right? Because we go down sometimes, the price drops 30, 40% in the past, but from the time you look at the price and, before we crash to the time you look at the price after the crash, a lot of times that bottom's been bought up. And it goes down 40%. But you go to sleep and it's up at 19,200. You wake up the next day, it's at 16,000. That's not 40%. Even if the price might have gone down to 14,000, then pop back up. So now is not the time. There will be a time to sell. Now is not a time to sell. There will be a time to sell. There will be a time where I'm going to flip the script on everything that I put out there. And the script is going to go from there is no bad time to buy Bitcoin. We're just going to hold off and we're going to take opportunity when it comes, to it's the time. We need to get out. The greed has come back. Prices are moving too fast. The market's moving too fast. Nobody cares about the fundamentals anymore. Nobody cares about Bitcoin anymore. Nobody cares about you. Everybody is just trying to make a buck, and they're going to make a buck at your expense, and you're not going to let them, because I'm not going to let you. And we're going to make sure that we miss that market cycle peak. We take our money out in a way that allows us to catch some of that market cycle peak, that very peak. We are probably going to catch the exact peak, or within a day or two of the peak. Well, I can guarantee you. You can look at the plan. If you have access to the plan, we will get the peak within a day or two. But we're not going to wait for it, because you don't want to take that risk. From where we are now to where we're going, there's so much to look forward to, that this should be the least stressful time of your life. This should be, as far as crypto goes. You can stress about other things. There are more things in life than crypto. I hope that for you, there's more things in life than crypto. And there are a lot of things to worry about. Crypto should not be one of them. The reason I say relax and enjoy the ride is because that's my genuine wish for everybody. This is an amazing time. This is an amazing opportunity. This is an amazing moment. You're in before everybody else. And if you've been in from last year or the year before, you're the smart money. You're the smart money. And all these institutions and these retail and all this stuff, they're coming after you. How many times in your life do you get to be the smart money? Do you get to be the person in before everybody else is? Do you get to be the person who comes in with conviction and belief and vision before everybody else comes in and ruins it by being greedy and driving the price up of everything? And I shouldn't say ruin it, because they're not ruining it for us, but they're ruining it for themselves and everybody else. And we're here before we're in. So for me, anybody, if you're stressing about whether we're going to be at 19,000 or 16,000, whether we're going to go up to 20,000 or back down to 14,000, you're stressing about things that you don't have to stress about it. You can. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you choose to, you can choose not to stress about those things. Let the market come to you. Let the market come to you in a position where you can take advantage of these opportunities. And these opportunities don't come because of price. They come because of the shift in momentum in the market, so that you can ride the wave up, avoid the crashes, and that's how you make the best of the situation. That's how you get the most juice for the squeeze. That's how you make sure that the capital that you're putting in, the time, the effort, the energy, the opportunity cost. Think of all the things you could use your money on that aren't related to cryptocurrency. All those things are in your favor. All those things are in your favor. And the reason I stick to my plan is because I know with that plan, as long as Bitcoin does everything it's been doing for 12 years, it doesn't matter about institutions, it doesn't matter about central banks, interest rates, economic growth. None of that matters. It's just Bitcoin doing what Bitcoin has done for 12 years, as we see by looking at the on-chain data from Glassnode, from other services that I use, other research services. As long as everything that has happened in the past continues to happen in the future, this is going to be the easiest thing you've ever done if you choose to make it easy. If you choose to make it easy. And I hope you do. And I would encourage you, if you're not subscribed to Crypto is Easy, please sign up. So I hope that was helpful. I know I've gotten the other thing I've gotten a lot of questions on is alts, alt season, diversification, selling alts. What's the plan for selling alts, buying alts, things like that. And I'm going to start addressing that more. I have some things in the works. I'm going to put out the monthly issue later this week. I'm also working on a special issue specifically about altcoin diversification, and I'll touch on some of those topics. For now, guys, you know what I'm going to say. Relax and enjoy the ride.